We are now at DEFCON 5. What happened this morning was something we have not ever seen in the history of crypto. This is the single biggest bloodbath we've ever seen. When Bitcoin hit 6K, I actually sold almost all of my Bitcoin. Why? Because what is happening right now in the world is very obvious. We are in a global crisis, and Bitcoin has shown that right now, it's not the hedge of value like many hoped that it would be. But is this the end for Bitcoin? And what is my next move? I'm going to answer both of those questions and more in this video. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for all things related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I make videos on this channel almost every single day. If you like what you hear or see, then please make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell to turn on notifications. If you'd like to take the conversation even further, please make sure to join my Telegram group, the Bit Squad. There's been a ton of great conversations in there today. All right, guys, I understand this video might not be that popular, but you need to hear the truth. This morning, I woke up pretty early, and I started heading down to my office to short Bitcoin. That was my plan. Unfortunately, I missed the dump by just a few minutes, but I've been cashing out some Bitcoin over the last week. But today, I cashed out almost all my remaining Bitcoin. In a little while, I'm going to tell you what my plan is and what my next market moves are going to be if I'm going to make any. The truest Bitcoin maximalists and hodlers would tell me that I'm part of the problem. But guys, it's time to open your eyes to see what is truly happening in the world. Many people are going to tell you erroneously that this was a chart move, that this was predicted. Those people are idiots. Other people will tell you that this was a camouflage dump by whales. Those people are also dumb. Other people will tell you that today was bullish for Bitcoin. They just want clicks and engagement. I've been investing in Bitcoin since 2012, and I'm here to tell you that today was one of the most troubling days for Bitcoin ever, but not quite the worst. In a little bit, I'm going to tell you what the worst day ever for Bitcoin was. But the space is full of delusional people who pat each other on the back and say everything is going to be fine when the world is on fire. People discourage you to make money shorting Bitcoin, and people crush you for cashing out or selling. The truth is, guys, we don't know if things are going to be okay. We are dealing with a global pandemic that we don't know the future of. People in China are just now returning to work after 3 months in places like Beijing and Shanghai. This is the real test of what is happening to us. If people in China catch a second wave of the virus, the world may be well on the way to collapse. And we don't know actually how many people died in China. We all believe that those numbers were fudged. But now, even in the United States, we're seeing massive underreporting due to the lack of confirmed tests because we just don't have the tests available. So the point being here is this could already be on the way to get much worse than it's already been. An Ohio public health official said today that they believe there could be, listen to this, 100,000 possible cases in Ohio alone right now. That's 1% of the entire Ohio population, and it's just started. Is it really that high? Well, it's hard to say, but we just don't know where this is going. But what we do know is this is probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Imagine 6 weeks of the market dumping. Now, Bitcoin has shown no ability to be the hedge against traditional markets that we thought it could be. Does this mean that narrative is dead? I don't think so, but it is certainly weakened. Some people I spoke with today said the true test will be as the stock market continues to plunge, will Bitcoin hit a tipping point where all of a sudden it will start rising while the other markets are flatlined. Sounds like a bunch of hopium to me. Right now, that sounds like a fairy tale, but it could happen, but it sounds like fantasy. This could be exactly what Bitcoin needs, though, to finally prove its value to the world. But as of this moment, it's looking pretty correlated to the markets. So if Bitcoin isn't great as electronic cash and it isn't great as a hedge against value like gold, then what's it actually good for other than a speculative asset? I think these are valid questions that we need to be asking ourselves. But let me tell you what I do know about Bitcoin. It's resilient. Nothing has been able to kill it yet, and many have tried. Bitcoin has been called a rinky-dinky version of magical internet money, and yet it has risen to be worth billions of dollars. So while there is literally no chance I'm going to say that what happened today was bullish, I'm also not ready to declare Bitcoin dead and start writing its eulogy. That's a narrative we've heard a lot, that Bitcoin's dead, only for it to come roaring back. Despite how bad today was, the worst day in the history of Bitcoin, in my opinion, was when Mt. Gox crashed. Back then, I definitely thought that Bitcoin was over. Today, I'm questioning some of the long-term repercussions from the dump. But on that day, in February of 2014, I was positive Bitcoin was done, and we see how that worked out. Despite having the bloodiest day on the crypto markets ever, it's not nearly as bad as the day I got that Chinese email from Mt. Gox saying my BTC was gone. And while the market did dump worse today, the fact is mentally it didn't do the same thing. That shows how strong Bitcoin has become. But we've broken some serious trend lines today on the 5-year historical chart. But once again, let me reiterate, this is not about charts. Some bears on Twitter today have been saying that they predicted this. And yes, they predicted lower prices. They're bears. That's literally what they do. They hate Bitcoin and they love it when the prices drop. But let's be for real. The global pandemic is what is causing all of this. It is pure chaos. One thing to think about is that the worse that it gets, the more possible countries could place capital controls on their people's money, meaning people won't have access to it. While I'm sure a lot of whales were dumping today, they certainly were not the only people. Many people I know cashed out around the 6K level, anticipating a bigger drop and anticipating possible capital controls. But part of the reason that I cashed out was to have some liquid cash in case that were the case. It's not that far-fetched. So what am I doing next? Well, I've rebought in at lower levels. I bought back in around the $4,000-ish mark because it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. But I didn't spend all of my money back. I want to be clear about this. I do not believe this is over. Is there anything that's happened in the last 12 hours that's made you believe that the markets are going to stabilize? The only argument I can possibly see for that would be if China gets no additional waves of outbreaks and now that the people are off quarantine. Combine that with a possible vaccine in China next month, and there could be some hope for stabilization. But that hope's not coming tomorrow. I believe we're going to see weeks of the stock market plunging, and I'm not sure there's anything we can do to stop that. So where do I see the price of Bitcoin going? Look, if this pandemic starts killing people by the hundreds of thousands in the next 2 months all over the world, then it's not going to be good. If this outbreak gets so bad in America that domestic travel is stopped, restaurants are closed, movie theaters are closed down, and mandatory home quarantines are imposed, then there is no bottom. There's no support to what we could possibly see in the world economy. Yes, we've had a pump in the last hour or so. Bitcoin is back up over $5,200 after crashing down to $3,800. But I'm not convinced the worst of this is over. I've been studying the virus, what it's doing in Italy, and the projections for what it is going to do here. And I'll tell you this, if you've watched my other channel on YouTube, the CEO of Facts, where I do daily coronavirus videos and also on my TikTok account, then you would know that I've been dead on about this for a week now. I called the NCAA tournament getting canceled. I called the mass school closings. And I've nailed many other predictions about what's happening. It's been predictable, guys. And in my opinion, this is just getting started. And if nothing else has been proven over the last week, is that Bitcoin don't want that smoke. If stocks continue to plunge, it's hard to imagine that Bitcoin is done dumping. So while I did buy back in at about 4K, I am much more ready to go if we get under 3K. And some of you guys may crucify me for this. But earlier today, when we had $5,500, I said on Twitter that a 3-digit Bitcoin is not out of the question. And I stand by that. But I want Bitcoin to prove me wrong. I'm daring it to go up. Let's see if it's up for the challenge. But now it's your turn. Let me know down below in the comments whether or not you think Bitcoin has stabilized, or does it have more room to run on the downside? But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash the like button and click subscribe to become a member of the Bit Squad. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of thumbs down on this video, and I'm prepared for that. But I want to be honest with you guys and tell you the truth. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.